Let's go Ravens! The week started off quiet with no games this weekend, but the pressure is mounting for John Harbaugh. The Baltimore Ravens are sporting an intriguing 8-5 record, which has fans feeling a mix of optimism and frustration. I hope nothing gets in our way of making it to the Super Bowl. Many don't believe so, but I'm optimistic. If you also believe we'll make it past the playoffs and into the Super Bowl, hit that like button hard. If possible, write something like, "Please, Lamar Jackson, help us make it to the Super Bowl." This season has been anything but ordinary for the team, as they've faced some of the toughest opponents in the league while battling their own inconsistencies. However, there is a silver lining to the challenges they've overcome, setting the stage for what could be a strong run in the postseason. Let's dive into what makes this situation so appealing and why some fans are still confident the Ravens can go all the way. One key point made by a fan during a live stream resonated deeply. The Ravens, despite their 8-5 record and struggles, are in a better position than they might first appear. They've played a number of top-tier teams this season, including the Kansas City Chiefs, Buffalo Bills, Cincinnati Bengals, and Philadelphia Eagles. While the results haven't always gone their way, those battles have made the Ravens battle-tested, a critical quality for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. Safety. Kyle Hamilton summed it up best on the Punchline podcast, saying that last year's team didn't face much adversity during the regular season, which may have left them ill-prepared for the playoffs. This year, however, adversity has been a constant companion, and the team has responded in ways that suggest they're learning and improving. Looking at their schedule, the Ravens have faced teams like the Chiefs, where they lost by just 7 points, and the Eagles, currently one of the best teams in the NFC. They've gone toe-to-toe with the Bills, a team led by MVP frontrunner Josh Allen, and even battled division rivals like the Steelers and Browns, who have been giving them trouble for years. It's not just about the wins and losses, it's about the lessons learned and the adjustments made. The Ravens' losses have often come down to fixable issues, such as penalties and lapses in offensive execution, rather than fundamental flaws in the team's structure. Speaking of penalties, they've been a thorn in the Ravens' side this season. The game against the Eagles highlighted how costly penalties can be, but it also showed how easily these mistakes can be corrected. Head coach John Harbaugh and his staff will need to tighten up on discipline if they want to make a deep playoff run. On the defensive side, things have been looking up. Since Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson were benched, the defense has been performing at a much higher level, holding opponents in check and giving the team a chance to win every game. The defense has been a consistent bright spot in recent weeks, and fans should feel encouraged by the unit's upward trajectory. Offensively, the Ravens' struggles with consistency have been well documented. Whether it's execution on key plays, questionable play calling, or a mix of both, the offense hasn't fully clicked yet. However, with Lamar Jackson leading the charge, there's always hope. Jackson's unique ability to extend plays and make things happen out of nothing has kept the Ravens competitive in even the toughest matchups. But for the team to truly contend, they'll need a more balanced and reliable approach, especially against playoff-caliber opponents.
Looking ahead, the Ravens' bye week comes at a perfect time. It gives them a chance to regroup, address their weaknesses, and prepare for a challenging stretch of games to close out the season. With matchups against potential playoff teams like the Houston Texans and their second game against the Steelers looming, the Ravens have an opportunity to prove they belong among the league's elite. The team's resiliency and ability to learn from adversity will be tested, but that's exactly what makes this journey so exciting for fans. So now it's time to turn it over to you. What do you think about the Ravens season so far? Do you believe the adversity they've faced will make them stronger for the playoffs, or are there still too many issues to address? Can this team, battle-tested as it is, make the adjustments needed to bring the Lombardi Trophy back to Baltimore? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Cam Newton recently sparked a conversation that Ravens fans won't want to miss, defending Lamar Jackson in a fiery segment that addressed the media criticism surrounding Baltimore's franchise quarterback. On his platform, Newton pulled no punches, urging Lamar Jackson to ignore the noise, embrace his unique playing style, and play the game his way. Newton's passionate plea came with a message that resonates deeply. There's no proper way to play quarterback, and Lamar is rewriting the rulebook. Newton, a former MVP and one of the NFL's most dynamic dual-threat quarterbacks, gave Jackson high praise, calling him the greatest dual-threat quarterback to ever play the game, bar none. He emphasized that Jackson's ability to both run and pass at an elite level is not a flaw but an extraordinary skill that no other player has replicated. Newton criticized those who have never played the game for tearing Jackson down, calling out out the media for perpetuating the outdated notion that quarterbacks must conform to a traditional style to be successful. His words echoed sentiments that many Ravens fans have felt for years, as Lamar has often been unfairly scrutinized for playing a brand of football that is anything but conventional. This season, some have pointed to Jackson's reduced tendency to run as a sign that he's trying to evolve into a more pocket-focused passer. Newton addressed this shift, noting key moments, like instances in the game against Philadelphia, where Lamar passed up wide-open running lanes to try and make plays through the air. While acknowledging the value of Jackson's arm talent, Newton urged the quarterback to lean on his instincts and capitalize on opportunities with his legs when they arise. 10 yards is 10 yards, Newton argued, whether it comes from a pass or a run, and both are vital tools in Jackson's arsenal. Newton wasn't alone in his critique of how Jackson's unique talents are perceived. Over the years, Lamar has been vilified for being different, despite consistently producing highlight reel plays and proving himself capable of leading the Ravens to victory. Newton argued that the criticism is rooted in a rigid football culture that struggles to accept anything outside the norm. He drew comparisons to versatile running backs like Darren Sproles and Austin Eckler, who are celebrated for their dual skills as runners and receivers. Why should Lamar be judged any differently? Newton asked. As the Ravens gear up for the final stretch of the season, these conversations carry extra weight. Baltimore faces 4 critical games, including an upcoming matchup against the struggling New York Giants. Coming off their bye week, the Ravens are poised to make a statement, and Jackson's play will undoubtedly be at the center of their success. Newton's comments couldn't be more timely, as they encourage Lamar to double down on what makes him special rather than conform to outside expectations. Ravens fans are well aware that Jackson is a one-of-a-kind talent. Newton's message is a reminder to appreciate that uniqueness and to reject the narrative that there's only one way to succeed as a quarterback. In the coming weeks, as the Ravens push toward the playoffs, this could be an opportunity for Lamar to show the NFL exactly why he's a generational player. Whether he's slicing through defenses with pinpoint passes or breaking away on a dazzling run, the goal remains the same, winning. What do you think, Ravens flock? Should Lamar embrace his full dual-threat potential or continue refining his passing game to silence critics? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get this discussion started. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll break down the Ravens' remaining schedule and explore how the team can secure the best playoff path. Ravens flock, the road to the Super Bowl is in our hands, and it starts now. With the talent, heart, and determination this team has shown, there's no reason we can't make it all the way to the big stage. To get there, we need to take it one game at a time, starting with a must-win matchup against the New York Giants. Following that, it's a battle for AFC North supremacy against the Steelers, and then we face the Texans, a rising challenge we can't underestimate. Every player, every snap, and every play matters in these upcoming games. Lamar Jackson is playing like a true MVP, and our defense has been relentless. But this is where champions are made, locking in and finishing strong. Baltimore knows what it takes to fight through adversity and rise above. Let's take care of business, dominate these matchups, and punch our ticket to the playoffs with momentum. Ravens fans, do you believe? Because we're going to the Super Bowl, let's get loud and show the world what Baltimore football is all about.